So you're thinking about weight loss programs for the new year? Huh,
That's great.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, it's smart to start planning now, and honestly, with all the options out there,
It's a lot.
it can get pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
So we've pulled together a few articles about top-rated programs for 2024, some expert recommendations from doctors and dietitians, and even a look at the Duke Health and Fitness Center programs.
Wow.
We're going to help you navigate this whole world.
That's right. And it's important, I think, to cut through all that marketing and really understand what each program offers.
Yeah.
And more importantly, how it aligns with your personal needs and goals.
Exactly. Today, we'll unpack what makes a program effective and sustainable for you. No one wants to waste time on something that doesn't deliver,
Nope.
right?
Not at all.
Yep.
A good starting point, I think, is to consider these 4 key questions that the experts recommend in one of our articles from today.com.
Okay.
These questions really get to the heart of choosing the right program.
Okay, let's hear them. What's the first one?
So first, ask yourself, which program appeals to you the most? This might seem obvious, but if you're not drawn to the program style, the food choices, or the overall structure, you're less likely to stick with it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It has to fit into your life.
Yeah.
Not feel like a constant battle.
Exactly.
Right.
The second question is, does the program help you set realistic goals and track your progress?
Okay.
This is where tools like food journals, activity trackers, and regular weigh-ins can be super beneficial. They help you stay accountable and see how you're progressing towards those goals.
Okay, what about support? Is that important?
Oh, definitely. The third question is all about that. Does the program offer counseling or support?
Hmm.
This could be in the form of individual coaching group meetings or even online forums. Having a support system can make a world of difference when you hit those inevitable bumps in the road.
Yeah, I could see how that would be motivating,
Yeah.
Feeling like you're part of a community working towards a common goal.
Hmm.
Okay, so we've got program appeal, goal setting, and support. What's that final question?
Okay, the last one focuses on physical activity. Is it incorporated into the program? We know exercise is crucial for overall health, but is also a key part of weight loss and maintaining a healthy weight.
Okay, so a good program should encourage and guide you on how to incorporate regular physical activity,
Yes.
whether it's through structured workouts or just increasing your daily movement.
You got it.
Okay.
Now that we've laid out those key questions, let's dive into some specific programs that are popular right now, starting with a classic Weight Watchers.
Oh yeah, Weight Watchers. It feels like it's been around forever.
It has.
And for good reason. They're consistently ranked high in those best diet lists.
Yeah.
What's the secret to their success?
Well, Weight Watchers uses a point system, and it's not just about counting calories. They factor in things like added sugar, fiber, and protein to encourage healthier food choices overall.
Right. And they have this whole 0-point foods concept where you can eat certain things without limit.
Yeah,
Honestly, that sounds a little too good to be true.
it does, doesn't it?
I don't know.
It's definitely a unique approach. Some experts believe this system provides flexibility and prevents those feelings of deprivation,
Right.
which can be important for long-term success. Others argue that it oversimplifies nutrition and could lead to an unbalanced diet if not used carefully. It's a bit controversial, but it seems to work for a lot of people.
Interesting. So it's not just about the points, it's about how those points translate to real world food choices
Yes.
and habits.
Precisely. And another thing to consider is that Weight Watchers offers different membership options and pricing tiers, so you can choose the level of support that fits your budget and needs.
Okay, that's helpful to know. Now let's move on to a program that seems to be all about convenience, Nutrisystem. They deliver pre-made meals right to your door,
Right to your door.
which is a huge time saver for busy people.
Yeah, you're right. That convenience factor is a major draw for many. But there are a few things to consider with Nutrisystem. While those pre-made meals can help you lose weight initially, some critics argue that they don't necessarily equip you with the skills and knowledge to maintain that weight loss once you stop using the program.
So it might be more of a jump start than a long-term solution.
Yeah, maybe.
That's something to consider. I mean, wouldn't you want to learn how to make healthier choices on your own eventually?
Absolutely. Ultimately, you want to develop a sustainable approach to eating that you can carry with you beyond the program.
Right. Okay, so convenience is a plus with Nutrisystem. But the long-term strategy might be something to think about. What's next on our list?
Let's talk about Optavia.
Okay.
This program relies heavily on their own prepackaged shakes, bars, and meals, which they call fuelings.
Fuelings. Okay, that sounds pretty intense.
It does.
What's the idea behind that approach?
So these fuelings are specifically designed to be very low in carbohydrates, which forces the body to burn fat for energy.
Okay.
This is a metabolic state known as ketosis, and it can lead to rapid weight loss.
I've heard of the ketogenic diet. It's pretty popular, but it sounds like it could be pretty restrictive. Do you eat anything besides fuelings on Optavia?
You do still cook some meals, but they have to follow specific guidelines. They call these lean and green meals, which emphasize lean protein and non-starchy vegetables.
So there is some cooking involved,
Yeah.
but it's all laid out for you, which could be helpful.
Yeah.
I've also heard that Optavia has a strong community aspect with coaches and support groups.
That's right. They emphasize the support system, which can be a big motivator for some people. However, this level of involvement might feel overwhelming for others who prefer a more independent approach.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
Really comes down to your personality and what you're looking for in a program.
right.
Okay, so we've got Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, and Optavia. What else is out there?
Next up is Noom, a program that's gaining a lot of attention for its unique focus on the psychology of weight loss.
Oh yeah, Noom. I've been hearing about it everywhere.
Me too.
They seem to be tapping into something different.
Absolutely. Noom recognizes that lasting weight loss isn't just about counting calories or restricting food groups. It's about understanding your relationship with food and developing healthier habits.
So it's more about changing your mindset and behavior patterns.
Exactly. They offer personalized coaching and lessons that delve into things like emotional eating, triggers, stress management, and building a mindful approach to food.
That's pretty interesting. It's almost like therapy for your eating habits.
Uh-huh.
Do they have any kind of structured meal plan?
They don't prescribe specific meals, but they do use a color-coded food system that helps you make healthier choices.
Okay.
Think of it like a traffic light.
Okay.
Green foods are go, yellow foods are slow down, and red foods are stop.
Okay. I like that analogy.
Yeah,
It's easy to understand and seems less restrictive than some other plans.
right.
So it's about being mindful and making choices that fit into your overall goals.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And they emphasize building sustainable habits, not just following a temporary diet.
Okay, so we've covered Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Optavia, and now Noom. What's next on our deep dive into weight loss programs?
Let's shift gears to a program known for its emphasis on healthy habits and long-term success. The Mayo Clinic Diet.
Ah, the Mayo Clinic. Just hearing that name evokes a sense of trust and credibility,
Absolutely.
doesn't it?
Their program is very much in line with their reputation. The Mayo Clinic Diet focuses on making gradual, sustainable changes to your eating and exercise habits, rather than promoting quick fixes or restrictive diets.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What are some of the key features of their program?
Well, they emphasize things like portion control, making smart food choices, and incorporating regular physical activity into your routine. They also have 2 phases, lose it and live it.
Okay.
The first phase helps you jumpstart your weight loss with a structured plan, and the second phase focuses on maintaining those healthy habits for the long haul.
That's a great way to frame it. It's about learning how to live it, not just lose it.
Exactly. And what's nice about the Mayo Clinic Diet is that it's relatively inexpensive compared to some of the other programs we've discussed. You don't need a fancy subscription or pre-packaged meals. They focus on education and empowerment.
That's a big plus for a lot of people. Accessibility is so important when it comes to making healthy choices.
I agree. Now, since we're talking about accessible options, let's look at a local program that might be of interest to our listeners. The Duke Health and Fitness Center. They have a program called Getting on Track that sounds pretty comprehensive.
Oh, I've heard of the Duke program. What makes it stand out?
Well, if you're in the Duke area, this could be a great option.
Okay.
It's an 8-week program that includes weekly classes on nutrition, exercise, and behavior change, plus group workouts and health coaching.
Wow, that's a lot packed into 8 weeks.
It is.
Sounds like they really cover all the bases.
They do. And to make it even better, they offer a Staying on Track support group for graduates of the program. So the support doesn't end after those initial 8 weeks.
Oh,
You can continue to get guidance and stay connected with the community.
that's fantastic. It shows they're really invested in helping people achieve long-term success, not just short-term results.
Exactly. They also offer individual weight loss consultations with registered dietitians and exercise physiologists, so you can get personalized advice tailored to your specific needs.
That's a really valuable resource. It's great to have access to experts who can guide you along the way. So we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Optavia Noom, the Mayo Clinic Diet, and the Duke Health and Fitness Center program.
And more importantly, we've touched on those key questions you should ask yourself when evaluating any weight loss program.
Right.
Does it appeal to you? Does it help with goal setting and tracking? Does it offer support? And does it address physical activity?
Those are excellent points to keep in mind as you continue to research and consider your options.
Yeah.
But before we move on to the next part of our deep dive,
Yes,
I think it's important to address something that came up in a few of these articles.
absolutely. We need to talk about the importance of consulting a healthcare professional before starting any weight loss program.
It's so crucial, especially if you have any underlying health conditions or taking medications. Your doctor can help you determine which programs might be safe and effective for you.
That's right. They can provide personalized guidance based on your individual medical history and needs. And this brings us back to something Dr. Fatima Cody Stanford, an obesity medicine physician at Massachusetts General Hospital, emphasized in one of the articles we reviewed.
Okay.
She stressed that there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to weight loss. The best program is the one that's tailored to your individual needs.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's not about finding the perfect program.
Right.
It's about finding the program that's the right fit for you. And that's where those 4 questions we discussed earlier really come in handy. They help you narrow down your options and find a program that aligns with your personal preferences, goals, and lifestyle.
Exactly. It's about making an informed decision, not just following the latest trend or what worked for someone else.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of information in this first part of our deep dive, but we're just getting started. In the next part, we'll explore some expert insights and additional factors to consider as you make your decision.
Sounds good.
Right.
Looking forward to it.
Me too.
You know, as we've been talking about all these programs,
Yeah.
one thing that keeps coming to mind for me is the wide range of dietary approaches.
Right.
They represent,
Yeah.
we've got programs that focus on points, pre-made meals, very low carbs, behavioral change.
Yeah, it's a lot to consider.
It's a lot.
It makes me wonder if choosing a program is less about finding the right diet
Yeah.
and more about finding a way of eating that you can stick with over time.
You're right on with that thought. I think many experts argue that the most successful weight loss approach is one that fits seamlessly into your lifestyle. Becomes a habit, not a temporary fix.
So instead of getting caught up in the latest diet trend,
Yeah,
we should be focused on finding an eating pattern that we can sustain in
exactly.
the long run.
It's about making those changes that become second nature, not something you have to constantly force yourself to do. Think about the types of food you enjoy, what kind of meal prep fits into your routine.
Yeah.
Even things like social gatherings and how those impact your eating habits.
Those are great things to think about, because if you can't see yourself sticking with a certain way of eating for the long term, then the weight loss probably won't last either.
You're absolutely right. And that's why it's so important to consider your personal preferences and lifestyle when evaluating these programs.
Wow.
No single approach is perfect for everyone.
Right. I'm starting to see how this all connects back to those 4 key questions that we discussed earlier. Choosing a program that aligns with your needs and preferences is crucial for long-term success.
It really is. And remember, it's okay to experiment a bit. What works for one person may not work for another. You might need to try a few different approaches before you find the one that clicks for you.
That's good advice. Don't be afraid to try something new, and if it doesn't work, adjust and move on to something else. But I guess it's also important to be realistic, right? I
Okay.
mean, no program is going to be a magic bullet.
Right.
It's still going to require effort and commitment.
You're right. It's important to have realistic expectations.
Yeah.
Weight loss takes time and consistency, regardless of the program you choose.
And speaking of consistency, I think it's worth highlighting one of the points made in that article about the Duke Health and Fitness Center.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about the importance of support and accountability, not just during the program,
Yeah.
but afterward as well.
That's such a crucial element that often gets overlooked. I think
Yeah.
the Duke program's Staying on Track support group is a great example of how ongoing support can help people maintain those healthy habits that they've worked so hard to develop.
And it's not just about formal support groups either. It could be as simple as having a friend or a family member who's also working towards healthier habits.
Right.
Having someone to share the journey with, to celebrate successes with, and to offer encouragement when you need it can make a big difference.
That's so true. Building a support network, whether it's through a formal program, a friend group, or even online communities, can be incredibly valuable. It helps you feel connected and less alone in your journey.
It's all about finding what works for you, and that includes figuring out what kind of support will help you stay motivated and on track.
Exactly. And remember, there are also plenty of resources available to help you along the way. Don't hesitate to reach out to healthcare professionals, registered dietitians, certified personal trainers, or therapists who specialize in weight management.
Yeah.
They can offer personalized guidance and support.
Those are excellent resources to tap into. It's like having a team of experts in your corner cheering you on and helping you navigate any challenges that come up.
Yeah.
So we've talked about a lot of practical considerations here.
Yeah.
Finding an eating pattern that's sustainable, building a support network, and seeking professional guidance when needed.
And it's important to remember that weight loss isn't just about the physical changes. It's also about the mental and emotional shifts that happen along the way. It's about developing a healthier relationship with yourself and with food.
That's such an important point.
Yeah.
It's about self-care, self-compassion, and celebrating those small victories along the way.
Absolutely. It's a journey, and it's not always going to be easy.
Right.
There will be ups and downs. But remember to be kind to yourself throughout the process.
I love that. Be kind to yourself. It's a good reminder for all of us,
Yeah.
no matter where we are on our health journeys.
Yes.
So what are some key takeaways from what we've discussed so far? It seems like choosing the right program is about so much more than just the diet itself.
It really is. We've talked about the importance of finding an eating pattern that aligns with your lifestyle and preferences, something you can see yourself maintaining in the long run.
And we talked about the importance of building a support system, whether it's through a formal program, friends and family, or online communities.
And finally, we've emphasized the value of seeking professional guidance when needed. Don't be afraid to reach out to healthcare professionals or other experts who can offer that personalized support.
Okay, so we've got the practical side covered. But I think it's also important to address the emotional side of weight loss. It can be a roller coaster of a journey.
It can be.
Right.
There's often feelings of excitement and motivation at the beginning, but there can also be moments of frustration, doubt, and even discouragement along the way.
It's important to acknowledge those feelings and to have strategies for coping with them.
Yeah,
What are some things people can do to stay motivated and on track when things get tough?
that's a great question. One thing that can be helpful is to focus on what we call the non-scale victories.
Okay.
These are the positive changes you experience that aren't necessarily reflected on the scale,
Right.
but that make a big difference in your overall well-being.
I love that non-scale victories. Can you give us some examples?
Absolutely. It could be
Wow.
things like having more energy, sleeping better, feeling less stressed, fitting into your clothes more comfortably, or even just feeling more confident in your own skin.
Those are all fantastic. It's so easy to get fixated on the number on the scale,
Right.
but it's important to remember that there's so much more to health and well-being than just weight.
Exactly. And celebrating those non-scale victories can help you stay motivated and focused on the bigger picture.
Okay, so we talk about the importance of celebrating those non-scale victories. What are some other strategies people can use to stay on track when they're feeling discouraged or tempted to give up?
One thing that can be helpful is to have a plan for dealing with those inevitable moments of temptation. This might involve identifying your triggers,
Right.
having healthy snacks readily available,
Yeah.
or practicing mindful eating techniques.
That's great advice. It's all about being prepared and having a game plan in place. What about setbacks? I mean, everyone slips up from time to time,
Yes.
right? How can people get back on track after a setback without feeling like they've completely failed?
That's a really important point. It's important to remember that setbacks are a normal part of the process.
Yeah.
They're not failures.
Right.
They're learning opportunities. When you slip up, don't beat yourself up about it. Instead, acknowledge it, learn from it, and move on.
It's about progress, not perfection,
Exactly. And it's about being patient and persistent.
right?
Weight loss is a journey, not a sprint.
Right.
There will be ups and downs along the way, but as long as you keep moving forward, you're making progress.
That's such a great message. It's all about keeping that long-term perspective in mind. So we've talked about practical strategies, emotional considerations, and the importance of seeking support. What else do people need to know as they embark on their weight loss journey?
Well, one thing that's often overlooked, I think, is the importance of addressing any underlying issues that might be contributing to weight gain or making it difficult to lose weight.
That's a great point. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. It could be things like stress, lack of sleep, hormonal imbalances, or even certain medications. Addressing these underlying issues can make a big difference in your overall health and well-being. And it can also make it easier to achieve and maintain a healthy weight.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about taking a holistic approach to your health, not just focusing on the number on the scale.
You got it. It's about looking at the bigger picture and addressing all the factors that might be playing a role.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about choosing the right program, finding a sustainable eating pattern, building a support network, seeking professional guidance, celebrating non-scale victories, coping with setbacks, and addressing underlying health issues.
Hmm.
What are some final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with as they continue to explore their options and make decisions about their weight loss journey?
I think the most important thing is to remember that this is a journey that's unique to you.
Yeah.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach. What matters most is finding what works for you and what you can stick with for the long haul.
I love that. It's about finding your own path and creating a plan that feels sustainable and empowering.
Exactly. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. There are so many resources available to help you along the way.
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this part of our deep dive. We've gone beyond the specifics of the programs themselves to explore the bigger picture of weight loss and overall well-being.
We've talked about practical strategies, emotional considerations, and the importance of taking a holistic approach to your health.
And we've emphasized the importance of finding what works for you and seeking support when needed.
Now, in the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore some emerging trends in the world of weight loss and leave you with some thought-provoking questions to consider as you move forward on your journey.
Okay, you've done a great job covering all that, but I have to ask, what about all the new tech and gadgets we keep hearing about?
Oh, yeah.
Are there any cool new tools that can help people on their weight loss journey in 2024?
You're bringing up an interesting point. Technology is definitely playing a bigger and bigger role in the world of weight loss, and there are some really exciting developments to keep an eye on.
Like what? Give us the inside scoop.
Well, one thing that's gaining a lot of traction is the use of wearable sensors that track more than just steps and calories. We're talking about devices that can monitor your sleep patterns, stress levels, blood sugar, and even your gut microbiome.
Wow, that's incredible.
Wow.
It seems like we're moving beyond just tracking what we do to tracking what's happening inside our bodies.
Exactly. And by gathering all this data, these devices can provide personalized insights into your health and help you make more informed decisions about your lifestyle choices.
So it's not just about tracking, it's about using that data to make meaningful changes. What else is out there in the tech world?
Another trend that's emerging is the use of artificial intelligence, or AI, in weight loss programs.
Okay.
We're seeing AI-powered apps that can analyze your eating habits, provide personalized feedback and suggestions, and even adjust your meal plans based on your progress.
That sounds pretty futuristic.
It is.
It's like having a virtual coach right in your pocket.
Yeah.
But I have to wonder, does all this technology actually help people lose weight and keep it off?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
The research on the long-term effectiveness of these tech-driven approaches is still emerging.
Okay.
Some studies suggest that they can be helpful for increasing motivation and promoting behavior change, but it's still too early to say definitively whether they lead to sustained weight loss.
I guess it makes sense that the technology is still evolving, but it is exciting to think about the potential.
Absolutely. It's fascinating to see how technology is being integrated into weight loss programs. It'll be interesting to see how these trends continue to develop in the coming years.
Okay, so we've explored the key questions to ask when evaluating programs.
Right.
We delved into some of the most popular options available, discussed the importance of long-term sustainability and building a support system, and even touched upon these emerging tech trends.
Right.
And throughout this whole deep dive, we've emphasized the importance of finding what works for you, seeking professional guidance, and being patient with the process.
That's right.
I think that's a great message to end on.
Yeah.
Weight loss is a personal journey, and it's about so much more than just the number on the scale.
It really is. It's about taking care of your overall health and well-being, both physically and mentally. And remember, you've got this. We're cheering you on.
That's great. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into weight loss programs for 2024. We hope this information empowers you to make informed decisions and find a path that leads you to a healthier, happier you. We'll see you next time.